Kindly be seated. A lovely morning to everyone. On behalf of Somaya Vidyavihar University and as a host institution, I, Dr. Vrishali Devle, would like to extend a gracious reception to all the illustrious luminaries to the epic start of the two-day Trio-Conclave in joint collaboration with BTF and AICTE. On a very bright note, before we embark on this game-changer mega-venture, I also wish to display a cheering hospitality to our revered dignitaries of Somaya Vidyavihar University, Honorable Chancellor Shri Samir Somaya, Honorable Secretary Lieutenant General Jagbir Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Rajshekharan Pillai, Honorable Provost Dr. Raghunath Shevgaonkar, Registrar Dr. Nand Kumar Gilke, Principal and Dean of Technology, Dr. Suresh Ukrande, all the heads of institutions from Somaya Vidyavihar campuses. Also, a profound attitude of gratitude to Padma Shri Sridhar Vembu, President General, Founder, CEO, Zoho Group, and founder of the Bharat Tech Foundation. Trio-Conclave sponsor, Kirloskar Engine Oil, and partner by Zoho Group, Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, Geo Institute, as well as School of Planning and Architecture. I also feel it very refreshing to find renowned delegates marking up for today's grand occasion. The Somaya Vidyavihar campus is delighted to receive one and all to this enriching fraternizing venture. Namaste and welcome once again. It is our sheer pleasure to find galaxy of dignitaries to grace the stage. I humbly invite Shri Sridhar Vembu, Professor G.D. Yadav, Shri Samir Somaya, Shri Jaikumar Ji, Engineer Narayanan Ramaswamy, Mr. Eric Holstrom, and Professor Mohan Rao. I request all the notable officials to kindly occupy the chair. Let us applaud as we welcome them. Mr. Eric Holstrom will soon be joining us today. The Somaya logo that goes way back to 1942 to its year of establishment is encrypted in Sanskrit. Gyan Dev Tu Kaivalyam connotes an anthem of emancipation. It symbolizes only through knowledge one attains liberation. So, to set the auspicious stage for the occasion and with due humility, I request his stalwarts to kindly illuminate the sacred lamp. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. We also have Professor T.G. Sitaraman, Chairman AICTE, who will be soon joining us for this live occasion via Zoom. Well, as an inherent part of Somaya culture, we now have the Somaya campus prayer. I request Professor Sunita Gangrade ma'am from the Maya Somaya School of Music and Performing Arts to recite the campus prayer. I request all to rise for the occasion.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिथा मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्द माधवम् ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनाम् अवित्रवतु ॐ चोदयित्री सूनृतानां चेतन्ती सुमतीनां यज्ञं दधे सरस्वती ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधितमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै सर्वैत्र सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः
Thank you, Professor Sunita. I sincerely request all the delegates to kindly maintain proper decorum because this is nothing short of a spectacle, the event that we are soon going to witness. Well, the Trio-Conclave, in partnership with the Somaya Vidyavihar University, epitomizes a fine confluence of the avant-garde cutting-edge domains. The motto aptly connotes technologically self-reliant Bharat at the rate 2047. To credit the synergizing forces and to greet the icons of highest Indian ranks, champions of international stature, pioneers of global change, a felicitation ceremony follows. And to do the honors and felicitate our eminent luminary, Mr. Sridhar Vembu, President General BTF and CEO, Zoyo Corporation, I earnestly request Honorable Vice Chancellor of Somaya Vidyavihar University, Professor Rajshekharan Pillai, to extend cordial gesture to the corporate magnate as well as the Padma Shri awardee. Come on, zealous audience, let us applaud. Welcome, sir. The next guest for felicitation is of the highest Indian rank, the Padma Shri awardee, Professor G.D. Yadav, former VC Institute of Chemical Technology. And to do the honors, I once again request our VC sir to extend a token of appreciation. Thank you so much, sir. Now to order our very own revered Shri Samir Somaya, Chancellor, Somaya Vidyavihar University and CMD Godavari Biorefineries, I sincerely request Manya A. Jayakumar, Chief Mentor BTF, to profoundly extend. Okay, sir, this was included in the list. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Now let us applaud the commendable presence of Engineer Narayanan Ramaswamy, Director General, Bharat Tech Foundation. And to do the honors, I humbly request Principal Dr. Suresh Ukrande to formally greet the esteemed guest with a memento and token of appreciation. I once again request our Principal Dr. Suresh Ukrande to formally greet the leadership persona, Professor Mohan B. Rao, Chair, Confederation of Indian Industry Western Region Task Force for Education. I once again request our Principal Dr. Suresh Ukrande to honor our admirable stalwart, Manya Jay Kumar, Chief Mentor BTF. Sir, kindly do the honors. Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you, sir. Now, as we proceed towards the main zone of the event, I'll be introducing very briefly. The CV is such, it carries a lot of weightage, but then without wasting further time, a brief mention of the stalwarts who are present here. We have amongst us Engineer Narayanan Ramaswamy, Director General, Bharat Tech Foundation, a mechanical engineer with over 30 years of rich experience in oil and gas industry. He is currently working with Abu Dhabi national company called ADNOC. With his fervent commitment, Sir has been monumental in achieving a significant milestone in the journey of technological advancement by fostering innovation and collaboration by opening several chapters across the global horizons. I request Sir to kindly render motivational address.
Indeed, that prayer was really energizing. I really felt it. Throughout those minutes, it was really amplifying your energy. Thank you, management, for that. Respected President, Sri Samir Somaiya, Chancellor, Somaiya Vidyavihar University, and Chairman cum Managing Director, Godavari Biorefineries, Chief Guest of the Day, Professor T.G. Sridhar. Actually, his flight got cancelled. As you all know, there are many flights cancelled by Vistara, and our Chief Guest also got stuck there. But he readily agreed to be online. Sridharam says is there online. Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav, former Vice Chancellor, Institute of Chemical Technology. Mr. Eric F. Holstrom, he is on the way. Anytime he will reach the venue. He is the Consul General of Finland. Respected Sridhar Vembu sir, CEO of Soho Corporation, as well as President General of Bharat Tech Foundation. Manya Sri A. Jagumarji, he is the Chief Mentor of Bharat Tech Foundation. Sri Mohan B. Rao, Chairman, CII Western Region, Task Force for Education. Respected ladies, gentlemen, dear friends, a very pleasant and good morning to one and all. First of all, hearty welcome to all those who could make it this morning with us here. Thank you everybody and welcome. President of this event, this conclave, Sri Samir Somaiya sir is a well-known industrialist and I don't need to explain more about him. On behalf of Bharat Tech Foundation and the Trio-Conclave, let me welcome you, sir. Welcome to the family. Our chief guest, Professor T.G. Sitaram, Chairman of All India Council for Technical Education, is associated with BTF right from the day of its inception. He is actually one of the first members of Bharat Tech Foundation. Sir, I hope you remember that, sir. Welcome, sir, for this Trio-Conclave. Yeah, sir, your audio is not working, sir. We can't hear you.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The first President General of Bharat Tech Foundation and Chairman of CEO of Soho Corporation, Sri Vembuji, Sridhar Vembuji, is part and parcel of Bharat Tech Foundation. One highlight here is that the vision and mission of Bharat Tech Foundation and that ideals and values of Sridhar Vembuji are convergent and going in the same path. That is the connection between Bharat Tech Foundation and Sridhar Vembuji. On behalf of the Trio-Conclave and on behalf of Bharat Tech Foundation, let me welcome you, sir. Welcome, sir. Indeed, I am very glad that Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav sir is here. And we were just having an informal session here and we came to know how many patrons. Definitely he will be telling you about all these things to us. We are honored to have you here, sir. Welcome. Sri A. Jayagumar, our chief mentor, has been a co-traveler I was a junior to him in the engineering college, and about 3.5 decades of connection, long connection. And there is no informal welcoming him, but in the name of formality, in the name of the function, let me extend a grand welcome to Sri A. Jagamoth. Last but not the least, Professor Mohan Rao sir has been with us right from the initial meeting throughout with the journey, and he has been very supportive. Welcome, sir, to this conference. Dear friends, today I thought I will share one observation. We all might have observed certain things. When we are traveling across India, at many places, we might have observed that many bridges are being built. One more thing I am sure we might have observed is, under the bridge, there will be a lot of the construction waste, the debris. Agree or not? These things lie up, garbage pile up, and this is a regular scenario in many of the places. I have traveled across the country and I have seen at many places this is a common factor. So I discussed this with many of my colleagues, many senior colleagues, and I also thought about it. We all know, we are all in the engineering fraternity, and all these works are happening through the contracts. There are provisions in the contract which clearly mandates that the contractor should remove all these debris and make the site clean. But it seldom happens. And we can understand that the sole responsibility is that of the construction engineer, site engineer. I am telling this observation just to highlight a typical example. We all know that about 1.5 million engineers are graduating from the various engineering colleges across the country, across the length and breadth of India. But what about the quality? Quality, not essentially in the sense of engineering acumen, but their value, their morale, their concern and commitment to the society. All these things, we can observe that it is slowly degrading year by year. So these were taught by a group of engineers about 2 years back, 2.5 years back, to be exact during the COVID period. And they were pondering over this thought for quite long, and that is how the seeds of Bharat Tech Foundation came out. So Bharat Tech Foundation is basically a global alliance of Indian engineers of Indian origin. So we all know that over the past 7-8 decades, a number of engineers have migrated to different parts of the country. They have become real experts in their domain, multitude of domains. But they seldom have any connect with our motherland, with our nation, with their village. And even though we have many millions of engineers, the problems in India remains unresolved even now. So Bharat Tech Foundation intends to connect these experts on one side to the problems in the village level, in the block level, in the panchayat level, and arrive at tangible solutions. Dear friends, this is one of the many activities of Bharat Tech Foundation. We have many other projects to increase the skill development, Guru Shishya project, popularizing the social innovation. There are many small innovations happening, though not much of engineering is there, but a lot of innovative thinking is there in our rural villages. We have a typical example like the water carrying, the hardship of women folk being solved by using rollers. So these are typical examples where, so we intend to popularize such activities. And another major event that is happening now was envisaged as the need of the hour, because the MSMEs, the industry sector, are not a major contributor for the R&D in our country. So basically they don't have the information about the importance of having research in the field. So that is how this Trio-Conclave, Trio means 3 agencies, that is academia, R&D institutions and industries, especially MSMEs. So all these coming under a single roof, deliberating on what they can do to synergize and increase their capacity and efficiency. So I don't want to elaborate much on this, but however, I definitely want to say what is going to happen in the next 2 two-day event. Short a brief. In the Trio-Conclave, we have arranged several relevant panel discussions, keynote deliveries, covering topics like catalyzing research and development for MSMEs, driving Vikasit Bharat 2047. Panel discussion number 2, tech and transition, creating new age research and development and collaboration opportunities. Panel discussion number 3, sculpting excellence in industry, academia collaboration, new frontiers. And we have an array of stalwarts, as the MC was telling before. Eminent persons like Mr. A. Rajarajan, Director, Satish Dhawan Space Center, SHAR. Then Dr. Apur K. Mishra, he is Consultant, PM's Economic Advisory Council. Professor Manoj Chowdhury, Vice Chancellor of Gedi Shakti University. Swami Swatmananda of Chinmaya Mission, to name a few. There are many other stalwarts. Definitely you can see that in the event list. So I request one and all to actively participate in the ongoing discussions and make the maximum out of it. Have a great day, all of you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for setting the perfect tone for the occasion. And I agree completely with you when we find Indians to be less quality conscious, but through such conclaves, I'm very sure the output that we all are going to witness would be something in the progressive direction. Thank you once again. Next, our next guest, we are indeed fortunate to have Padma Shri Sridhar Vembu sir, President General BTF and CEO Zoho Corporation amongst us today. Sridhar sir co-founded Zoho Group in 1996 and has been the CEO since 2000. The company has emerged as the largest software product company in India while pursuing a unique set of choices which span hiring, training, product strategy, location and customer satisfaction, all driven by a holistic philosophy that puts contentment and humanity as key virtues. I invite sir for the address.
Thank you. Namaste, Vanakkam. So, very happy to be in Mumbai and Somaya University. Thanks for hosting this, sir, and thanks for all the dignitaries. And I'm going to talk about the R&D academia industry. I'm going to start with the industry first, because we need jobs, we need industry. That's the most pressing, and all the students also want jobs. So I'll give you 2 layers of R&D. We talked about MSME R&D, and then there is a big tech R&D. I'll come to both. So recently, about just last week, about maybe 10 days ago, I was on a tour, industrial tour. I visited Sivakasi. Sivakasi is only about from Tenkasi, where I am, which is literally Dakshin Kashi. In Tamil, Tenkasi means Dakshin Kashi. Then we have Sivakasi, which is about 80 kilometers from where I am. So we have a lot of Kashis in our place. And this is the fireworks capital of India. 80-90% of all the fireworks you buy comes from Sivakasi. If you look at the wrappers, you will see it. And I met a lot of the industry people there. And then they have now diversified into printing technology. A lot of these types of things also are printed there now. All of the books and all of the fancy stuff. The printing hub also has emerged. And they are trying to, all the local entrepreneurs, this is a relatively small town, only about maybe 1 or 1.5 lakh people, and then the surrounding villages, but a lot of entrepreneurs. It's one of the highest entrepreneurial density place in the entire nation probably. And so they have branched out into other businesses now. And primarily the fireworks industry, of course, with all the regulations being passed in Delhi now, banning fireworks even for Diwali, Supreme Court banning it, they face a lot of challenges. What to do? And local employment depends on it. Because there's not enough water, so agriculture, that's why they got into this, but there's not enough water for agriculture, so they got into the fireworks business, and now what do? So and a lot of these are now second, third generation entrepreneurs. People who have inherited companies, very young, well educated, And so they are asking what is the strategy. And I told them, you think about your firecracker as don't think of it just for fireworks, think of it as stored chemical energy, right? So I said, then what else is stored chemical energy? Turns out the battery cells are exactly the same. In fact, if you look at the EV or electric vehicle or anything and you open up the battery, you'll see a lot of those little batteries, which, if you look carefully, it'll look exactly like the fireworks thing too. Here they wrap in metal and all that, the different chemicals are involved, but it's the same idea. So it's stored chemical energy. The chemical energy is released as fire and sound and light, but here it will be released as electricity. So I said, and this will be a higher margin industry. It turns out from within about 70-80 kilometers of Sivagasi is the town of Karaikudi. And Karaikudi has, as you would guess, there is a Central Electrochemical Research Institute, SECRI it's called. It's a central government institute, and the electrochemistry is exactly batteries. In fact, there are scientists there who are studying it. So I said we have to create the linkage between the Sivagasi town and Karaikudi and create a linkage. And our fireworks business, and I think battery business should be similar, is structured a lot of MSMEs. Few larger players, but mostly it is maybe there are 3,000 players there. And there's no intrinsic reason why the batteries also cannot be similar. There'll be quality standards, all that, but you could have a lot of suppliers in this business because every car, every motorcycle, every scooter, so many batteries are coming anyway, right? In the EV revolution, buses, now all that. So that is and I said we have to create a linkage between these. Of course, each one of these 3,000 companies, 3,000 business people cannot afford it. That's something we talked about, that they cannot afford the R&D investment. So, but if you look at the SECRI, that is a little bit too far from their thing. How do we approach who's, we don't know the professors, we don't know anybody who's doing it, any of that, right? So that's where I said we'll set up a small group, and this is a German model. I'm going to call it our Swiss model, where these industries come together, create a research institute, and then the university participates, in this case the SECRI, the Electrochemical Research Institute participates in it, and we share the intellectual property. So obviously, because everybody has a stake in it, that has to be properly part of the mandate. This is the model of, in Germany, they have this Fraunhofer Institute that's really doing this. And Germans are well known for the Mittelstand, the middle-sized companies. We only know the large ones, but there are numerous, thousands of German companies that are world-class, big exporters out of Germany, which are relatively mid-sized, small to mid-sized. Maybe 200 employees, 500 employees, that range. Not tens of thousands of employees, not 100,000 employees. So that model, the R&D power is coming from this type of an institution. Here actually in the region we happen to have that, we have the stored chemical energy experience here, and we have some R&D experience there, and we put together we can create this industry. That's what I told them. I said I'll be happy to seed a thing where maybe we'll take 3 or 4 chemists, material scientists, and some mechanical, thermal engineers, all that, and then you need software, battery management, all that, which is something that we can do. So we have to put this together, and then that IP of how to make these batteries has to be shared. Then second, the battery technology is changing. So we go from lithium ion, now there is sodium batteries, zinc, and even iron, different applications. Like if we want, for example, energy storage for our home, for overnight we have solar power, but we store the energy. Those batteries have to be cheap. The volume can be big. It can be a refrigerator size or whatever in the roof. That can be a different approach too. So these are some of the so that's one concept that we have to nurture in R&D. The industry, the MSME coming together, but they have to come together first. They have to have a body. It's a body, actually, it's a CIA-sponsored event I was in. It's called Young Indians. That's the group I was addressing. There was about 200 people in the audience, mostly all from the local industry group. So we have to put together, you were coming together for hosting the event and all of these. You have to come together to sponsor an R&D center and work with the SICRI in Karaikudi to enable this. So that's one type of R&D. This is the MSME model, and we absolutely need this because we cannot, on current trajectory, we cannot bring more and more people to Mumbai, more and more people to Bangalore, more and more people to Chennai, all of this. People have to be staying in Tenkasi and Sivagasi and all these places. And that's the only way. These towns have to be economically viable to hold our people. And I'll tell you, in COVID period, I live in a very remote village. It's about 650 kilometers southwest of Chennai. Nearest big city would be, Madurai would be a big city, that should be about 120 kilometers. And then Tirunelveli, which is about 4-5 lakh people, will be about 50 kilometers from my village. So any city, I have to travel about 40-50 kilometers. Otherwise, we have a lot of cluster of small towns. And from this village, which is about 2,000 people, there was about 30-40 people who were in Mumbai. How did I know? Well, they came back during COVID. That's how I knew. And they said, I asked him, so where are all these new people coming from? Well, they're not new people, they are actually locals. They just came back from Mumbai during COVID. And then I found out there's another 20 people in Bangalore, another 20 people in Chennai, all that. So, in fact, in our chef in our cafeteria in our school speaks fluent Hindi, and I asked him how. And in our part, nobody speaks Hindi. He said, I spent 10 years in Mumbai. So that's, and I said, we have to arrest the migration. I don't think Mumbai needs more people, So we have to arrest that migration. So that's why this type of cluster of industry is very important. These MSMEs have to be supported, and R&D is critical, obviously. Because the fireworks industry also itself faces competition from China. And then some of the fireworks, if you see latest Chinese firework concept, they don't involve fireworks at all, drones. Drone-based displays now. So our future weddings, future gala events will have drones flying in formation, giving you the firework effect. So the firework industry, as they say, got disrupted by technology. And Sivagasi will have no place in drones, right? So no way to earn an income from drones. So these are the kinds of things that at that level we have to think through. Then I also visited another town about 70-80 kilometers from there, Dindigul. Dindigul was famous for locks. All of the locks that you buy, traditional locks, a lot of them came from Dindigul. And that industry has declined. They don't have a lot of that left now. They still have a few hanging in there, but not a lot. The Tirupur, Coimbatore, the textile belt, from there a lot of the spinning mills have moved to Dindigul for cheaper land and cheaper labor. So I found a lot of the spinning mill people. But they are facing challenges because now the costs are lower in Bangladesh and other places. And if you go to any of the big showrooms now, you go to Reliance Trends or whatever, you'll find a lot of made in Bangladesh now. So the shirts are coming from Bangladesh. That means the Dindigul people are getting challenged on that. So you can see these challenges. If you talk to the local business people in all this, there will be like 150 spinning mills there. But a lot of them will tell you, their business is very cyclical and in a bad year, it's very bad. There, the problem is somewhat different. All of the technology for the spinning mill is imported, most of it. 90% of the machinery is imported. And so we have to move up that value chain. We cannot just compete on buying the machines, setting up the factory on cheap land and cheap labor and compete. We have to figure out the machinery. Again, it's an R&D problem. So on this, we have already started doing this work, and we actually have a small manufacturing technology group in Zoho, small one, that we are building some of the machinery now. We have mechanical, electrical, all of that. And this also is again a collaboration problem where we have to set up the industry academia collaboration. And this has to be very accessible. Again, I suggested to them, we band together, form a group, and then we do the R&D and share the technology. That's a model that I'm going to suggest there as well. And so these are for the MSME problem. Then the second, totally the other end of this, I'm going to talk about the big tech. Your Google scale, Apple, Microsoft scale R&D. There I'll give you some numbers, you will get the perspective. Apple, each of these companies, do about $250 to $300 billion revenue annually. Apple a little bit even higher, $350 billion annually. And another number that might shock, a lot of people will get shocked when they realize this, they do about $300 million per day in operating profit. Per day, every day, weekends included. So if you could take their annual profit and divide by 365 days, you'll get about 275 million, 300 million, 320 million, somewhere in that range. And that's just the top 3 or 4. And then you add in NVIDIA, Facebook, all that, the number explodes. So you have that scale of R&D. You think about it, $300 million every day, what kind of R&D you can do. And who can match that R&D in India? Because if we don't invent all this technology, we'll be slaves to those people who invent the technology. And we already have the experience. It was called East India Company. We should not forget that. I often say that the big tech is the new East India Company. We just have not realized it yet. Because to a very large extent, the levers of all the technology is controlled by very few companies today. We should internalize this very well, because all our WhatsApp, all the Google Maps, to all of the Android phones, every single Android phone, every single iPhone, it's one geopolitical accident away from being turned off. And we know that this has happened before, right? So that's why we have to be aware of this. At that scale of R&D, it has to be different. It cannot be this MSME R&D. Because you look at the scale of R&D for LLMs, the large language models now, a minimum investment of $200, $300 million will be required just to be in the game. And to be globally competitive, maybe $1 or $2 billion now. That's how it is. On the semiconductor fab, the leading edge fabs require 10, 15 billion, 20 billion. Just yesterday, Japan is subsidizing their fab industry about $4 billion now, $3 or $4 billion, yesterday's news. And we are getting on it. I mean, Tata Group is now setting up the first fab in India for about $10 billion. That's about the kind of investment that's required, $10 billion for the fab. And as of now, we don't have any commercial fab in India. There's one research fab, but that's a very old, outdated technology. We don't have any latest fab in India, and so the first one is coming, thanks to our persistent effort from the government. But we need a lot more of this. So all the chips we buy, essentially everything is imported today. And similar with sensors, similar with drones, similar with factory automation, robots. Again, the next, Elon Musk has predicted in the next 10, 15 years, there will be more robots than humans. And it's very believable. If you look at the way the technology is advancing, and again, we need all that technology made here. So these are all, and these require a very different R&D structure. We have professors in leading institutes, whether it's IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, all of that, who are very good at it. But we don't have the linkage with the industry. And that's what we have to create. We have to have a research center. We need things like Bell Labs. And we have made a beginning. We have Zoho Labs that's operating like a Bell Labs now. We're doing R&D in a variety of areas, but we need it in vast scale. We need to be able to spend billions of dollars on this. That's what is required. And at least a few industry groups have to come together on this, big ones, to set up this type of a Bell Labs mission. And to catch up, and I can list 100 technologies, just simply list it. There's probably 1,000 technologies we have to master. This is unavoidable. We have 1.4 billion people. We have 22 million kids. China only has about 9 million, 9.5 million. So we are twice China plus US. And you can throw in maybe a Japan in there too. That's how many babies we have. So, which means we can do R&D in everything. India's scale is that we should do R&D in everything, every conceivable technology known to humankind. So that's the mission, and we have made a start in our company, and that's why I talk to all these groups to create these linkages. But we need, and Bharat Tech Foundation's mission is to create this self-reliant Bharat depends on us mastering technologies. So with that, I want to thank you for coming, and thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you so much, sir. I completely agree with you when you say that whatever as Indians we are able to conceive, we can achieve. So solar power and other indigenous forms of technology will surely put Indians on the global world map. Thank you once again for providing the rightful guidance. Well, Let us all join hands in welcoming the commendable presence of a luminary of international stature, Mr. Eric Holstrom, Consul General of Finland. To do the honors, I humbly request Engineer Narayanan Ramaswamy, Director General BTF, to formally welcome Sir with a token of gratitude. Welcome, sir. Our next eminent guest will be wishing us via online. That is, we have pre-recorded message of Professor Abhay Karandikar, who is the Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, as well as former Director at IIT Kanpur. May we have the message to be played, please?
As 2024 unfolds, Bharat leads the world in economic growth with ambition of becoming Vikasit Bharat, a developed country during this Amrit Kal by 2047, coming within our reach. Achieving this goal requires sustainable and rapid growth for upcoming decades, and equitable distribution of our resources. The micro, small and medium enterprises in the recent years has emerged as a highly vibrant and dynamic sector of the Indian economy. It has contributed significantly to the economic and social development of the country by fostering entrepreneurship and generating large deployment opportunities at comparatively lower capital cost. In fact, as all of you know, India has emerged as the third largest startup ecosystem in the country. Today we have more than 1 lakh. However, we need a focused approach to effectively capitalize the new age technologies like artificial intelligence. AI today is rapidly transforming the industries across the globe, and the MSME and the startup sector is no exception. AI is poised to revolutionize the MSME sector in the coming years, offering a plethora of benefits that can improve the productivity, customer experience, improve the operational efficiency, enable the data-driven decision, and thereby provide a competitive edge. We need to address in this discussion and brainstorming the following questions. How could industry, academia collaborations can be achieved to drive the new innovations in this digital age and enable MSMEs? What are the key enablers to promote our academic institution as hub of knowledge creation for MSMEs? How should MSMEs capitalize on new age technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, etc.? And how could academia facilitate that? A collaborative approach between the AI industry and academia is required for catalyzing the technological advances and development while creating the new job opportunities and skilled workforce for our country. In the era of digital transformation, there is a need of high levels of tech skills, not only in the current but also in the future workforce, especially as I mentioned in technologies such as AI, cloud, cyber security, cyber physical systems, data sciences, spatial computing, etc. Apart from these skills, which are the technical skills, there is a great requirement for soft skills also for effective collaborations. By fostering interdisciplinary intersections between technology, policy, skill development, and sustainability, we can create an ecosystem where collaboration and research spark not only the innovative solution, but also enable the Indian industry to learn from global best practices, thereby leapfrogging us into a sustainable technology development and production scenario. The intersection of startups and academia has emerged as a powerful force driving the research and innovation ecosystem. Traditionally, academia and entrepreneurship have been perceived as distinct worlds. However, more recently we have seen that our academia has played a great role in not only the incubating the startups, but also encouraging and promoting them. As a matter of fact, our Ministry, Department of Science and Technology has taken several initiatives in terms of incubating incubators across the academic institutions and universities. We have instituted more than 150 incubators and directly or indirectly supported 12,000 startups through our Nidhi schemes, and our Nidhi schemes has many dimensions like Nidhi Prayas and Nidhi Seed Startup Support and so on. And there has been a significantly growing number of collaborations that are happening between the academia and our startups, which can lead to the groundbreaking advancements and promote the technology transfers. As a matter of fact, the academia can play a big role in driving a deep tech startup sector, where we can increasingly leverage the research that is happening in the deep tech area in the academia. For example, in areas such as healthcare or quantum or semiconductors or fintech or renewable energy or advanced materials, etc. Now, these efforts to convert these innovations into job creating commercial sectors and startups is absolutely essential, so that we can not only contribute to the economic and societal development, but also in terms of becoming a global player. How could industry, academia, government can create an enabling environment to develop the pool of new age frontiers in the form of deep tech startups? How could we tap into the latest research? How could we convert the research that is happening in our universities and in our labs into fields and into commercializable, deployable products and technologies is what we should actually be deliberating. I hope that this deliberation will create an opportunity to do some brainstorming, to come up with some suggestions and framework which could be used to develop a framework to help our MSMEs, startups, and particularly the deep tech startups working in the area of new age. I wish you all the best. I hope you will have successful deliberations. Once again, thank you very much. Jai Hind. Jai Hind.
In his absentia, I think whatever the best outcome of this session is going to be, it's going to yield best outcomes, and we are surely going to follow the footsteps, the pragmatic guidance provided by Karandikar sir. I'm very sure about that. Thank you so much, sir, in his absentia. Now, our next revered speaker, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav, former Vice Chancellor, Institute of Chemical Technology, is the most distinguished Emeritus Professor of Eminence, former Vice Chancellor and R.T. Modi Distinguished Professor at Tata Chemicals, Darabai Seth Distinguished Professor, as well as leadership. He has been a leader of innovation, as well as recipient of the prestigious J.C. Bose National Fellowship. I invite sir to render address, please.
Good morning. The chief guest of this program, Professor T.G. Sitaram, Chairman of AICTE, Shri Samir Somaiya, my good friend, Padma Shri Sridhar Vembu, we have Mr. Erik Holstrom, the Consul General of Finland, Professor Abhay Karandikar, Shri Jaikumar, Shri Narayanan Ramaswamy, Shri Professor Mohan Rao, dignitaries in the audience, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed very delighted to be here because I am a practicing engineer. And I know what happens in academia and also industry and what should be done. So in today's world, we are talking about net zero. We are talking about healthcare. We are talking about Vikasit Bharat at 2047. And there are various models. But the best model is you have to imagine what India should be there at 2047. Should it be $30 trillion economy or $27 trillion economy? And why not imagine India to be #1 country in the world? And then you go back. Instead of projecting from today and going to 2047, we should project from there backward. Then only our model will be right. Because right now we are #1 populous country. Nobody is going to give technology to us. Even if they gave, it will be second-grade technology. So we have to develop our own technology, and this is where the role of academia comes into picture. All the time we compare ourselves with China. Do you know what Chinese are doing? All academic institutions develop technology for the industry, and the industry collaborate. So one of the best example in India is ICT Mumbai. ICT is not even known to the neighbors in Matungam because it's a stone building, and the Dabbawala calls it Dagadi College. But we have produced 700 first generation entrepreneurs. Our contribution to GDP, national GDP is 8%. Can you believe it? A small institute in Matunga contributing to 8%, produced 19 Padma awardees, 3 Padma Vibhushans, 8 Padma Bhushans, and rest as Padma Shri. So that institute has a halo. And in fact, we started many startup companies. Our students started them. So, I'll tell you very interesting things. That it is just not, the rich people did it. Mukesh Ambani is our student. You can tell everything. Anjir Reddy is our student. Ashwin Dani, late Ashwin Dani was our student. The Aarti group, all the 22 directors in there, they are all our students. So there is a spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation in the students. And we develop our program that way. So I had that opportunity of heading this institute for 10.5 years. I started 2 campuses. one in Bhubaneswar and another in Jalna. Bhubaneswar totally with support of Indian Oil, 500 crore under CSR. This is the only example in independent India where industry has supported to start the entire campus, and right now that campus is running. And the program is totally different. What is the program? It is a trimester system, not semester. Semester system is useless. We make our students, lazy. During the summertime, they don't do anything. Maybe they will fall prey to some bad habits. So in this program, trimester system, every alternate trimester, the student goes to industry. He is paid for that. And so in the integrated program, in 5 years, he gets 2 years industrial experience in 6 different industries. So obviously, there is a spirit, and the program was designed in such a way that the students in the final 2 trimesters will have something about the startup idea, and they can come together and do it. So much so, one of my own students, PhD students, I said, do you want a job? He said, sir, no, you always talk about startup companies, and can I have a startup? I said, yes, you can start making impurities. Now, normally people talk about purity, but in pharma industry, impurity is a very big business. Now that fellow started about 8 years ago, he has 100 employees with him, 100 scientists. And he makes impurities for most of the people across the world, most of the companies. Because you have to have an impurity profile for any drug. Perhaps you don't know that. It is very easy for us to ban apps. We can say we can. But you cannot ban manufacturing sector. 80% of our API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, come from China. So last 3-4 stages only we do in India. So if you ban that, our industry will collapse. So the PLI scheme which government has introduced, the idea is to give encouragement to our industry so that they will substitute this what is being imported. That was one of the ideas, Mr. Samir Somaya will tell this. The idea was to replace this import and have some incentive to this sector. There were some 15 different sectors which were covered. So I said this. Why don't we have incentive for hydrogen, decarbonization? Incidentally, myself and Godavari Biorefinery, we are working on a project where I have developed this technology for dimethyl ether. He is supporting me because, academic institutes don't know money. And you are talking about, intellectual property right. How many people know that intellectual property right can make you rich? When in 1991, I applied for a patent, I had to take permission from Mumbai University. And it would go to the council, the management council. They did not give me permission for 1 year. Ukarande sab, you are there, right? 35, they asked me to give 35 copies of my patent, details of the patent. Then only they will give me permission. Somehow I got it, but I must tell you something. Who helped me? It is Department of Science and Technology, DST's TIPAC program. I became the first patent awardee under the TIPAC program. So I must acknowledge DST for doing that. Same was the case with DSIR. So NRDC also helped me in getting another patent. So now I have 125 patents. But I will tell you, I always tell my colleagues, academic colleagues, there is a formula of success is 3P. I adopted that. That is patent, publish, and prosper. So first you must patent your idea. If you have done something in the lab, so there is also bureaucracy. Our vice chancellors and directors think they own everything. They don't own anything. They think that if somebody comes to them for a permission to file for a patent, they will sit on the paper as if he is granting the patent. He doesn't grant the paper. He has no right. So when I became the vice chancellor, first thing I did, I said, come to me, I will sign the paper immediately. Let the patent examiner reject your patent, not you. You are not expert in everything. So during my tenure, ICT filed 430 patents. 400, almost 179 were acquired during my tenure. Because I encouraged, One Indian patent requires 25,000 rupees. Now India, government of India is asking you, giving you free. Professor Pandit will tell that. Now you are supporting. So this ecosystem has changed. Startup companies have changed. Incidentally, I chair 2 committees of DST. One is the Waste Management Committee and another is Infrastructure, Incubation and Technology Entrepreneur. We've supported many people. So the idea is that India can become a great country provided we have a lot of startups. Okay? And some of these companies which are unicorns, that means $1 billion turnover, majority of these companies were started by IIT graduates. Okay? Whether it is Flipkart, Snapdeal, including Ola, these are IIT graduates. So that means there is a culture, there is a brain in our students which has to be encouraged. And that is what is the job of this. So, another thing, industry-institute partnership, industries must create chair professorships. Professor of practice we are talking about. Industry can also send their people on sabbatical to academia so that students learn the actual thing. Otherwise, we'll be producing only graduates, which are no use. Then, the other way around, industrial sabbaticals. Faculty members should go and spend time during summer. This is where the trimester system helps. So I told my colleagues, you can go 4 months to industry. Let them give you anything. Take that money. Okay? But learn something from the industry. So this is required. Then another is, you can have a group of students right from first year to final year. Make them a group and let them solve a problem. Let them go to the industry, take the problem, solve it, let them become. See, these kind of ideas must be implemented. If we just implement the British model, okay, having 2 or 3 months vacation, nothing is going to happen in this country. Incidentally, since Consul General is here from Finland, I had a collaboration with Oulu University. I had a collaboration with Perstrop. Okay, Perstrop is a company, your company. They supported my research. So this is very interesting that we can have a lot of things. So, unless, another thing is what? Of course, government is doing now, patents are being supported, but the way to become rich, also for academia and the individual. So in ICT, practically everybody is a consultant, practically everybody. Those who wish, I used to give them the permission. I used to tell them, 1 day in a week you can go to industry, 67% is money is yours, 33% is ICT, because you are not using ICT's facilities. So it is only brain power. That thing worked, and remember, we have a very good example. We have to compare with USA and India. There was something called Bayh-Dole Act in USA. What that act did, before that act, about 250 patents were filed by American universities. What that act did that the universities will own the patent rights, IPR, and they can become rich. So after that, the next year, 4,000 patents were filed. Now America had the largest number of patents. In fact, because I was elected to the US National Academy of Inventors, I'm the only second Indian, and I had gone to that USPTO. I was very happy to see my name on the board. But the kind of things which they have done to encourage academics to file patents and convert them into, an entrepreneurship. So, and it is not that only the science and technology professors are doing it. Humanities, 10% of the patents are owned by humanities. 10% of the business in America is owned by humanities. It might be a history professor owns it. This is not, this has to be done. Another interesting part, I tell you, Susan Hockfield, with the former and the first lady vice chancellor, rather president of MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, what she used to say? She used to say, universities are the harbingers of economics and the economic growth of the nation. So what she did not say, I am MIT, therefore I am great. She went to everybody else. She is a medical professor. She was a medical doctor. She generated $3 billion, $3 billion, had collaboration with many leading institutes. In Boston, that there are more than 32 universities. She did that. And you will be surprised when we are talking about GDP and all, 1/3 of the GDP of America comes from university research. 1/3 of the, and in that 1/3, two major universities, Stanford and MIT. How many of you will believe that? That means their graduates have created. So universities can be the epicenter of doing innovation research and helping the industries, and that is what is required. And another issue is, that commercialization of academic IP, there are, this I will tell you a little bit. You can do it through technology transfer. If you have developed technology, you have got a patent, because you have to be very watchful. Then you can do it by licensing. Then you can do it by transferring your IPR, intellectual property rights. You can do it by joint ventures, which universities, they lack this. Supposing I have developed something, and I have told Samirji also, that if we take up that technology which we are doing, dimethyl ether, we'll be joint owners of that. Okay, and if somebody starts a company, I will have, stake in that company. Then only we can make money. Otherwise, suppose I sell it, I'll be poor only. I can't be rich. So we have, that culture has to be brought into academic world, and that is what. And then of course, the other one is patent enforcement, because many times in country like India, people steal technology. Overnight the plant staff is stolen. Pharma companies, it happens a lot, including the operators are stolen. The intellect, your IPR may be broken and they might be practicing it. So I tell you a good example. Either you enforce that through negotiation instead of litigation, because litigation means 50 years. We don't know when the case will come for hearing. So is negotiation, that is what is done. So one of the best example I will tell you is an American example. This A7 processor was invented and patented by Wisconsin University, and Apple stole it. Now Apple is a big company. Many of you may be having this iPhone. They negotiated with them, and they got $430 million. So that is called enforcement, that you are telling them, so why our Indian academies cannot do that? They can do it. And MSME, another thing is MSMEs must support research. You have some agreement with them, you share the IPR 50-50, like my research being supported by industries, and I have that agreement with them. For example, ONGC, Energy Center, we are developing this hydrogen technology. We have set up a pilot plant in Goa, but I have an agreement with them. And we have got 26 companies who are showing interest in our expression of interest, which you call in commercial term. We are negotiating and we are building. So what we are doing, we are making carbon dioxide to methane, carbon dioxide to LPG, carbon dioxide to methanol, carbon dioxide to dimethyl ether, green ammonia and whatnot. So these are all the goals of the entire world. So Professor Karandikar also mentioned healthcare. Healthcare is a sector where knowledge is growing, doubles in every 71 days. So you can imagine, by the time we come out of the college, our knowledge is outdated. So this is where this lot of innovation is required and can be done, okay? And of course, AI and ML technology, these are to be used, tools to be used by everybody. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe that, this particular conference which you organized, Trio-Conclave, last 2 words. All universities and academic institutions must have 2 offices. One is called the Technology Transfer Office and another is Technology Licensing Office. And the people, those offices must be manned by taking people from industry, not academic. Academic fellow useless in those offices. Don't appoint academic fellow just because give additional charge to that professor. It will never work, my dear friends. Additional charge means not doing anything. If you are additional director or in-charge director, you don't do anything. Because you are not supposed to do. You are supposed to maintain status quo. So no, hire people from industry, man them, and I expect from Samir that this will be done in your university. With these words, few words, thank you very much for calling me. There is no question and answer in this kind of thing, but I will be very happy to answer if you have any questions at the end of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such a brilliant presentation and statistical data. What we gather here is you really started the trend, the Magna Carta of patents. And on that note, in a lighter vein, I feel that the old stone mansion, the building, ICT building, is really a power-packed house that created geniuses, technical wizards, as well as lion's share of startups in for India's progress. Thank you indeed. Moving ahead, our next eminent guest, Mr. Erik Holstrom, Consul General of Finland. The government appointed Mr. Holstrom as Consular for Foreign Affairs from 1st January 2023. He currently serves in special assignments at the Foreign Ministry's Department for the Americas and Asia. I request Sir to render special address to the audience.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, namaste. It's always a great pleasure to come back to Somaya University, this time for this Trio-Conclave on technically self-reliant Bharat. I noted also that here in the inaugural session, I'm the only non-Indian in the panel, so I will try to speak carefully. Well, anyway, it's an honor for me to stand in front of you as the first Consul General of Finland in Mumbai of my country. Yes, it's true. Finland was not present in Mumbai before 23 when I was appointed. I'm the first one. The Consulate General is new, but the embassy in Delhi has been there for 75 years. Already in 1949, Finland and India established full diplomatic relations, and this was only 2 years after India's independence in August 1947. The political relations between our two countries are close and unproblematic. Foreign Minister Elina Valtonen visited Delhi in February this year for the Raisina dialogue and met with External Minister Jaishankar. Prime Ministers Modi and Marin met in Copenhagen in 2021. They agreed to establish partnerships on digitalization and sustainability, and with a special focus on education. One aspect of bilateral relations between India and Finland is that more and more Indians come to Finland. Last year's 2023 was a record year when it comes to visas and resident permits given to Indian citizens. Indian diaspora in Finland is growing towards 20,000 people. Some of them stay in Finland, establish themselves there, some turn back, some become Finnish citizens, some remain Indian citizens. But anyway, they enrich our culture and they form a bridge between our two countries. The mandate of the Consulate General is to promote all national interests of Finland, but there's a clear emphasis on trade and commercial relations. Commercial relations should, however, be defined in a broad manner. It's not only about traditional imports and exports anymore. It's also about investments in both directions: education, tourism, talent attraction, culture, and media relations. All these sectors support each other and they rely on each other. And I must tell you that during my tenure, education has been very much present. There's so much interest in India for the Finnish model. Finnish public school is very well known globally for its learning results. We have small classes. Teachers is a highly valued profession. We encourage critical thinking among the children. But maybe the most important aspect is that we do not overload small children, 5 to 7 years old, with academic subjects. We let children play, climb, learn to swim, to do things with their hands. So in that way, their motivation stays on even when they are teenagers. The education cooperation also consists of student exchange, research cooperation, teachers training. We have a lot of cooperation, but we are still willing to develop it even more. Professor Yadav mentioned Oulu University, and actually a delegation from Oulu University is visiting Mumbai in the first week of June. On industry and economics, Finland's key economic sector is manufacturing. The largest industries are electronics, including information technology, machinery, vehicles and other engineered metal products, forest industry and chemicals. Finland has timber and several mineral and freshwater resources. Traditional imports and exports between our two countries is relatively small, annually about 3 billion euros, 300 crores. Finland has exported a little more to India than India to Finland lately, mainly machinery, paper products and information technology, and from India to Finland mostly textiles. But sometimes it's much more interesting to talk about investments, so-called FDIs, and right now the value of Finnish investments to India are about 3 billion euros. We have Kone and Nokia with big factories outside Chennai. Here in Maharashtra we have Wärtsilä and Huhtamäki plants in Kopoli, about 50 kilometers from here. When it comes to India to Finland, Tech Mahindra has recently opened a maker's lab in Finland, a laboratory, and Madison Sumi is the biggest Indian investor to Finland. If you then look at Finland as a business destination for foreign investments, what is the added value we can give? Well, Finland is a clean country, we have good governance, and we are efficient in all aspects. Of course, we have a little bureaucracy, but not so much as in many other partner countries. Practically everyone speaks English in Finland, and English is the common language in many companies with offices in Finland. We are a small country, which means we are flexible, we can adapt soon, business-friendly, clean, safe, vibrant and welcoming. And Finland is quite advanced in many interesting growing industry sectors like bioeconomy, circular economy, clean tech, health and well-being, as well as digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite clear that India will become a 5 trillion economy. The question is more when this will happen. And also that India in the foreseeable future will be the third largest economy globally after United States and China. Of course, it's difficult to estimate exactly when this will happen because macroeconomic prediction is never easy. The ambition of this conclave is to foster a more vibrant and result-oriented collaboration between academia, research and development institutions and industry, particularly SMEs. Collaboration is important, but equally important is that these institutions remain independent so that collaboration grows from the institutions themselves. And in addition to collaboration between the mentioned institutions, I would like to mention international collaboration, because in today's world, no country can act alone. It's of course the national ambition of India to become a 5 trillion economy, but because of India's size and population, India's all national ambitions and decisions are also global ambitions and decisions. India's growth is also global growth, and also a global interest, because India's growth means also trade and business for other countries. Therefore, it's all good also for other countries that India grows. The interesting question is, of course, that what India shall do when it becomes richer. Of course, it's up for India's democratically elected leaders to decide how to steer the ship. But I believe it's evident that education level will rise, poverty will decrease, and that in some way all Indians will benefit from the economic growth. And when India starts to building its welfare society, I see a lot of scope for cooperation with my country on education, already mentioned, on sustainability. In Finland, we have adapted the so-called Nordic welfare model with a lot of social policy allowances. Finland is strong on women's rights and female emancipation and women's empowerment. And at the more global level, I believe there is scope for more cooperation between India and Finland on the efforts to establish a rules-based international order to support peace and security and human rights. And I must say that the situation globally does not look very promising right now. It's now more than 2 years since the brutal Russian aggression on its peaceful neighbor Ukraine began. Finland is helping Ukraine in all possible ways and has implemented trade sanctions on Russia. Still about international cooperation, one sector to be particularly stressed here is the climate change. because here everybody, or we all understand that we really need international cooperation. The question of global warming and melting polar ices, they do not recognize national borders. We cannot look at these questions from the national lenses only. We really need international cooperation. At the United Nations, we have a voluntary framework, the Sustainable Development Goals. I must say that India, under the present government, has been quite active. Finland recognized the initiatives that India has made, like the International Solar Alliance and the International Biofuel Alliance. Finland, for its part, has been active in establishing the Finance Ministers' Coalition for Climate Change. So when India marches towards the goals of 2047, it's important to do it in a sustainable way. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, India is a rising global power, often aligned with the global south. Finland is a small, rich country in Northern Europe, deeply rooted in Western culture. But we have much to give each other, much to discuss and to cooperate on. We need each other because only together can we make this world a better place. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, sir. Rightly stated that India is a land of diversity, and I'm very proud as an Indian to state that as Indians we'll surely contribute towards the progress of Finland, and it shouldn't be a case of we envying you as one of the world's happiest nation, and we'll try to match up with your expectations. Thank you once again. Well, our next distinguished guest, Manya Shri A. Jaikumar, is the Chief Mentor at Bharat Tech Foundation. I request sir to kindly strike animated conversation.
The most respected Sridhar Vembu ji, Yadav sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university, Samir ji, Mohan Rao, Sri Narayan ji, the Vice Chancellor of this university, V.N. Rajasekaran Pillai, Dr. Aryan Kumar Sharma ji, Unnat Pandit ji, and many scientists, technocrats, students, my dear brothers and sisters. After hearing 4 speeches, nearly Abhay Karandikar, our Sridhar Vembu ji, Yadav ji, and a speech of the Finland embassy person, everybody, I am actually tired hearing all ideas and concepts. I am not putting any thoughts. I also have, while entering into this hall, I have so many things, thoughts to put before you, but I am not putting anything now. Because I myself hearing all speeches, this Trio-Conclave, what has to be done after this, what support we had to sort from different agencies. And I also am very eager to hear our Professor Sridhar Raman, the former director of the Guwahati IIT and the present director of AICTE. He is also waiting there. But this one point is, this Trio-Conclave is not only for finding the solutions of MSME or industrial issues, and not only that. We are the largest country with the huge problems of 142 crore people in this country. Yesterday I visited some coastal areas of Kerala. Due to the sea attack, hundreds of houses were finished. When I am interacting with them, the poor ladies are telling that we are facing death on every night. We are hundreds of houses. You know that India has the largest coastal zone we have there. The thousands of families, lakhs of people, every day facing issues. When the sea will attack us and taken away our houses. See the tribal population of the country. We are seeing only the urban population and urban problems. But still India is comprising of 5 lakh villages. We have several issues. 75 years of Indian independence. 75 years is enough for a country to become a self-reliant nation. 75 years. Where we are. So now we are going to participate in the the largest festival of the world. What's that festival? That is the election. You're for the new government. You all have the right. Everybody has. Ambani to the poor farmer has only one vote. So this participate in the. I only have the only humble request. Be not a part. Be a participant of this largest festival, and we have to make this Bharat a self-reliant nation. And with our own eyes, we have to see that Bharat is the glorious Bharat. We don't want to conquer anybody, but Bharat has to serve the entire world as Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, the slogan which we have performed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a profound and concise address. Moving ahead, we now have a Zoom interaction with Chairman AICTE, Professor T.G. Sitharaman. May I request the technical heads to do the needful?
Yeah. Can you also allow me to share my screen? So good afternoon, namaskar to everyone. You're able to hear me and see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So warm greetings to all the dignitaries on the dais. I'm truly happy to be here to share some of my thoughts in the transformation of, particularly I'm going to focus more on academics, where technical education, how it is transforming in India, and what we should be doing in another 20-25 years to become the leader in the world. First, let me congratulate Somaiya Vidya Vihar University and the Bharat Tech Foundation for putting together this Trio-Conclave. Very innovative initiative. And what it means is basically, we try to bring together the people, collaborate, so that a synergy can be established among academia, research and development, and also industries. So this, if we are able to do this successfully, I think we could be a force to reckon with. Friends, in India, particularly I'm going to focus on the STEM area of education, science, technology, and engineering, mathematics, where we are reasonably strong. And we have heard the previous speaker talking about the contribution of ICT, IITs together. So academic institutions are basically the hubs of knowledge creation and dissemination. This collaboration between industry, academia, and research and development is a very important for many reasons. Maybe technology transfers, knowledge transfer, innovation, talent development, problem solving, capabilities to both for the industry as well as the academia people in a different context, and in total the economic growth, and as a nation a competitiveness, and as a society for a long-term sustainability. Overall, the collaboration between industry, academia, and R&D is very essential for driving innovation, fostering economic growth, and addressing societal challenges. Friends, I am going to just give you a positive outlook of how Indian technical education is transforming. For those who do not know about All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, which started as an advisory body in 1945 to then British government, went on to become a regulator in 87. Since then, a lot of water has flown, because as you know, in 80s, a lot of engineering colleges mushroomed in southern part of India. And at that time, it was thought that there is a need for regulating this engineering and management education in the country. And today, AICTE has transformed itself as a facilitator for making Indian students as a 21st century highly skilled professionals, innovators, entrepreneurs, and researchers. I'm going to give you only that part of the activities. So our vision at AICTE is promoting innovation and entrepreneurship and develop industry academia collaborations and upgrading the curriculum for the industry needs, and also promote research and development at all our engineering institutions, and not the least, promoting student and faculty startup culture, establishing incubation center and center for excellences. So this, I think we have started well. I'm going to give you the story of how we started at AICTE and how it is progressing well in terms of numbers, and where do we stand and where do we reach by 1947. So some of the very positive, policies of the government of India, whether it is National Education Policy 2020 or the National Credit Framework, or integration and embedding the vocational education, and also creating a new ministry for skill development and entrepreneurship, and National Higher Education Qualification Framework, and also education and skilling in emerging technology areas. And what most is, during COVID, what we learned is how online, digital, and blended learning could be used for progressing education, as well as, communicating with all the stakeholders. So at the end, any education here, it is the employability. So how the future work in the context of artificial intelligence coming in, and how is going to look at the employability situation in India, and particularly with soft and life skills, how do we impart into our young people who are very, very large number. Just to give you the number of statistics, AICTE has close to about 10,000 institutions, out of which 3,600 engineering colleges, another 3,600 diploma colleges, and we today largest number of engineering graduates graduate. When compared to any part of the world. So today we have close to about 1.25 million engineers graduate. Just to give you statistical numbers, these IITs, we have totally today 23 IITs graduating 15,000 graduate per year, and another 31 NITs graduate 20,000, but all the engineering colleges, put them together, it's graduate 1.25 million engineers. The scale is mind-boggling. And there are a lot of quality initiatives taken at AICTE. I don't want to read out all of them. I will leave this slide for a few minutes so that you can look at it. But maybe revision of curriculum, teachers training, FDP, and also inculcation of the Indian knowledge system, and innovation activities, and also using technology, for progressing, and also giving it very transparent administration and with less administration. So bringing in multidisciplinary and holistic education into engineering and technical education in the country. That's what the attempts have been done. And even we talked about examination reforms and then evaluation reforms using Parak and Karma. And there is a National Education Technology Forum under Ministry of Education, and which focus on rolling out the National Education Policy Plan with all the University Grants Commission, the AICTE, and many other institutions. So our focus is to shift from cognitive skill to non-cognitive skills, wherein we can make our young people, skilled. So in the area of research and innovation, we have a large number of projects, which is last 10, 15 years, a lot of work has gone in. And AICTE's Idea Labs is one such initiative which I would like to bring it to your notice. And this Idea Labs basically provides, an opportunity for people to hands-on doing some experiments themselves. So totally 107 AICTE Idea Labs are created, and also culture of research and innovation has been brought in these Idea Labs. So first and foremost thing we have asked is these labs have to be kept open 24/7 and all 365 days. And also, as it is not just an additional job to a professor, a full-time, a person, an entrepreneur is being identified with this. And another a very innovative program is our Kapila program, Kalam program for IP literacy and awareness, where innovation, how to file a patent, how to create, create a literacy on the intellectual property for all our engineering and diploma students. So today I can proudly say our YUKTI 2.0 portal has more than 1 lakh innovation ideas captured coming from all engineering colleges. Friends, at this moment I would like to take a moment and tell you, see, when IITs have started in 1951 to 61, 5 of them, and the 6th one being the IIT Guwahati, where I was the director. So all these until 2000, these are basically elite engineering colleges. Maybe I can say very clearly that it may be not like ICT, it was more focused on teaching as an institutions. And these, there is a survey actually, Current Science did it in 2003. Then there were 7 IITs. How many research publications come out from these institutions? So if you look at 2003 data, all 7 IITs, by then the Roorkee also became an IIT. There were 7 IITs. All of them, all publications of all these 7 IITs was much, much less than 1 Indian Institute of Science, where I'm a professor there. So that clearly indicates these IITs were basically a elite teaching institution until 2003. But in last 20 years, these IITs have transformed themselves into institutes of Indian technologies. Okay, I always say this point because there are a lot of innovation activities, research culture has been built in, and research publication. In terms of research publication, IIT Madras alone today in 2023's data clearly shows that it is number 1, beating Indian Institute of Science as well in our own country. I'm not even comparing across the world. And many of our institutions have appeared in the international ranking, doing very well, exceedingly well, whether it is IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, or IIT Kanpur, or IIT Madras. And definitely Indian Institute of Science is also part of that. So these numbers clearly has not just come easily, but what I would like to share with you is, and many of our IIT graduates, still look at lucrative, they get a lucrative packages in their jobs, first jobs, and then first few years, they are not part of the ecosystem of innovation. But what has happened, the transformation, what has happened in our engineering colleges, many of our students, because there is a large number and also dearth of the jobs, so many of them are taking risks. The risk-taking ability of our young people has made them, very successful. And I will show you some of the numbers in a little while. And also you could see that whether it is, successful programs of Government of India, particularly the ISRO or DRDO or any of the defense related activities, or also successful Chandrayaan or Aditya L1, all the majority of the engineering graduates are not from IITs. They're all from AICTE approved institutions from rural part of India. But what I would like to say is there is a lot of talent in rural part of India. We need to actually give an opportunity to them, and I think we can be a force to reckon with if all of them can contribute. That's what AICTE has tried to do, to bringing in the industry, institute collaborations, to enhance their skill assessment, skill enhancement of the young people, and also provide opportunities for creating an opportunity to do research and innovation. We have also provided internship for students, definitely an employability by creating our AICTE internship portal is one of the largest portal, which has 2.2 crore students registered on our portal, with 75,000 companies are offering internship to all the students. So our placement portal, which has been created for rural India, rural colleges, rural engineering colleges, has attracted about 3,500 companies, which is recently 2 months back we have done that, and a large number of young people are able to register there and get the jobs as well. So we also conduct a lot of faculty development programs to upskill our faculty, and And there we also provide an opportunity for students to learn self-learning, which is the major activity, of the national education policy, wherein, we have created as an institution from the Ministry of Education, 9 institutes put together, created a largest MOOCs platform in the world, which is close to about 10,000 courses are available, which is Swayam. And today we have added all the industry also to be part of that, called Swayam Plus program, where students can take courses online through self-learning and take an exam, get a credit, and transfer those credits to their degree level. For both UGC and AICTE has allowed up to 40% of the courses in engineering and other courses can be taken through self-learning, through the Swayam portal or Swayam Plus portal, or even skill courses are also we are allowing now. Lot of positive changes we brought into our curriculum, and we have also signed large number of MOUs with industries to bring in, the faculty development and practicing professor. AICTE's new policy on practicing professor, we would like to also hire assistant professor of practice, associate professor of practice as well, because today's in emerging technologies, a lot of young people are having the, expertise in these emerging areas, whether it is cybersecurity, data science, artificial intelligence. So these young people will have 5 to 10 experience, 5 years or 10 years experience. If an opportunity is provided, they would come back to teaching and train large number of people. So that's where, AICTE has provided this opportunity of assistant, associate, and full professor of practice, because many of the, in the emerging areas, we may not find faculty at very senior level to come back to academics and to teach this. So some of the initiatives on innovation, particularly on the entrepreneurial activities, I would like to highlight of AICTE's activity. And we have created a national platform in this as part of the Ministry's Innovation Council is located at AICTE. And we have brought in policy interventions, the 4 pillars, innovative courses and hand-holding also. And we have also carried out our whatever activities we have conducted, an impact assessment from IIT Delhi, and found that this has really changed the way, innovation is being understood and practiced at our engineering institutions. Friends, I would like to take this one particular slide shows about innovative initiatives conducted by AICTE at higher education institution, and also we brought in at schools level. On the left side, for higher education institution Innovation Council, we have created a new program, MBA PG Diploma in Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development. This is not a regular course. This is a course where students get involved in creating their own startup. It's more of a practical rather than taking courses related to for 2 years program. No, it is not a regular program. So the second is the Kapila. As I already told you, that is the IP literacy. Professor Unnat Pandit is there. Thanks to him. So today, for education institution, the fee for filing patent is very, very, very small. This is again worked out jointly between AICTE and the Professor Unnat Pandit and his team. And this has really created a spur in the activities of patent filing. Today, India is the 3rd largest patent filing country in the world. Even though the numbers wise, still we have to catch up with China and America, but we have reached the 3rd position in the patent filing. And even in research publication, we are today stands in 2024, stand 3rd, again, largest producing country in terms of research publication. This has all happened, because of a lot of initiatives at the Ministry of Education, as well as the AICTE and UGC, which we have taken. In the school levels, we have introduced so that the kids can learn about the innovation activities. We have created school innovation ambassadors. We have trained almost lakhs and lakhs of teachers there as ambassadors. And we have right now actually the innovation, development, entrepreneurship boot camps are happening across the schools. And we have invited from all the school, and it's very, very happy to tell you that there is a lot of positive vibrations even in our school children on projecting their ideas and converting them to product and processes, and there is a lot of hope. So we have also conducted a series of design thinking and innovation courses, and the materials at school level we have created as a textbook form, thanks to again Ministry of Education School Education Group, where they have supported extensively us to create these material. So Yukti, just to give you some numbers, Yukti Innovation and IPR Repository, as I told you, we have created from AICTE innovation activity close to about 6,150 plus companies have been started as a startup. Okay, they are at different levels of TRL technology readiness level. So you can see we had close to about 99,000 ideas, and 38,000 ideas are TRL level 4 to 9, and TRL level 1 to 4 we have 56,000 ideas. It's a very strong pipeline and repository of close to about 1 lakh plus innovations, startups, and 30,000 patents, and built across 1,640 higher education institutions. This is a mind-boggling change happened in last 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see the distribution of what different technology readiness level technologies have been done. So these are all just not happened because we have currently continuously engaging our young people in our colleges through Smart India Hackathons. Smart India Hackathon is a religious, sort of a competition, both in software and hardware at our engineering institution every year. And Honorable Prime Minister participated in every of these events, okay, starting from 2017. So recent one was also very successful with 55,000 ideas. Friends, you can see there how the Smart India Hackathon statistics grow. It's a 7-fold increase in idea submission from the year 2017, and growth in participation of stakeholders, ideas submitted, total participant, and also a lot of female teams are also part of that. And we have also made one female member as part of this 6-member group. So here students learn how to work collectively, collaboratively, and also multidisciplinary teams. They are not from the same stream of engineering. They will come from many other. Today we have expanded this to even other colleges, schools. So a lot of multidisciplinary innovative ideas are coming. Patents wise, if you look at it, and the Kalam program itself clearly indicates an overall increase of 247% from 2018-19 to 2023-23. So that's how we have become. So this is thanks to again the 80% fee reduction for the educational institution in patent because of the patent amendment rules in 2021. This is also happened to it's a very, very important contribution. So that clearly shows. So we have also created an IPR curriculum where introduction to intellectual property for UG, foundations of intellectual property for PG, intellectual property and innovation for PhD. So you can clearly see how many participants have registered in our IP awareness and training program across the country. The map clearly shows the distribution of which states participated. We're very happy to tell you, every state has participated in these activities. So that's the reach AICTE had. So we had also funded the patent filing ecosystem. Even that small fee also AICTE actually reimburses to the students and faculty, and we have created a lot of awareness program on this as well, and we have jointly with the patent registrar also we have done this. So recently after I took over, we have also converted our regional offices to India's innovation center called Innovation Center. So these are 12 cities in our country. Actually these were earlier regional offices of AICTE. As we have closed down our regional offices for the approval process and made it completely transparent, single place at Delhi. We don't want any persons for approval to come to AICTE. We have clearly told them, please don't visit us. We will help you online. Online appointments were given, and this year we were able to do that, all that 10,000 institutions without anybody visiting any part of any of our offices, all online, and we have created a digitally. So all these properties we have at 12 locations in our country, Bhopal, Goka, Guwahati, Kolkata, Chandigarh, all of them are being converted into innovation center to create hub and spoke model with top-down and bottom-up approach to explore and expedite technology transfers and IP commercialization. We have already hired technology experts full-time for these positions. So recently we have launched one of these innovation center at Jaipur, but another 11 centers will be also launched soon. We are already ready with both the manpower as well as the infrastructure. Build and nurture a networked system of knowledge generation, technology transfers, and IP commercialization at the local, state, regional, and national levels. We would like to establish strong connection between higher education institutions with industry, startups, and ecosystem enablers to channelize expertise, mentoring, and knowledge sharing. So this is to empower and build the capacity of higher education institutions in technology transfer and IP commercial capabilities. Friends, because of all these efforts, I can tell you today, India comes in third place among the world's most desirable location for technological investments. We have seen even in semiconductor. I'm also the chair of the implementation committee of the semiconductor ecosystem in engineering institutions. Very happy to tell you more than 375 engineering institutions have started VLSI program, BTech in VLSI program. So we are also creating an infrastructure for them now, so that we can provide at least teaching fab for them, so that they can be trained in the teaching fab level, and then they are ready when these industries are ready by next year. So being aware that science and technology are essential for economic prosperity, so modern India has definitely placed a major emphasis on them, and that's where the engineering and technical education is going to be the prime focus. India is ranked as one of the top 5 nations for space exploration. All of you know that, placing it among the top nations in the world for scientific research. India has also retained the 40th position in the Global Innovation Index, jumped from 81 to 40 now. India also moved to 5th rank in the global R&D funding forecast. India ranks 3rd in the world in terms of number of PhDs in science and engineering. And India remains among the top 3 countries in scientific publications as per NSF data. Women participation is also increased. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you, 40% of our students in engineering colleges are girls. So this will change tremendously the culture of research and innovation in our higher education institutions. The gross expenditure on research and development in the country has also been increasing, even though not to the expectation of 6% of GDP, but definitely 2-3 times in numbers it has increased as our GDP is also increasing. So these numbers needs to be augmented. We all know that. So this is very, very important to understand that we have placed an emphasis on research and development, which plays a crucial role in education. The culture of research and education has been taken into schools as well today. In our school itself, we start giving research, innovation, and entrepreneurship startup ideas to our young people. So AICTE also works aggressively to establish industry-academia collaboration. We have taken various initiatives to establish industry-academia collaboration to address skill gaps and foster a future-ready workforce. Friends, we have signed MOUs with big brands like Meta, Cisco, Salesforce, Amazon, Arm India, with clear numbers to be trained through their CSR. I even asked all of those CEOs, why do you like to sign? Because they are looking at our demographic dividend of India. 500 million young people are aspiring to really, become of the engineers or, skilled people for the whole world. So we could serve the whole world. So recently AICTE started the working professionals program for giving an opportunity for all the working professionals, starting from ITI, those who are working, and diploma, engineering or postgraduate. So that force also will really mature in few years to come. There were no opportunities earlier because this Institute of Engineers Part A, Part B program was actually banned. So there were no other opportunities because part-time and evening programs are also closed. So what we have created is a very new working professionals program, which is not a second grade degree, which is they will be getting a regular degree, but with a flexible timing. attending full classes in the evening using the infrastructure, existing infrastructure of the AICTE institutions and also the faculty. So they will take classes after 5:30 of their office hours, and in a flexible way. Instead of taking 4 years for an engineering program, they might take 7 years. So in that way, we have created this working professional program, which is going to transform and bring in large of workforce for India and also skilled people. So friends, today our placement, I have already told you about our internship and placement portal. Skill-based learning also, we have made a mandatory now, and we are providing through our AICTE courses. We have made it mandatory so that in the 40% of the courses can be even the skill courses also. So friends, we all agree that we have to come together, academia, industry, R&D. Innovation is going to be the leader in the future. In recent years, with the vibrant entrepreneurial spirit, a massive pool of skilled professionals have been trained at AICTE. Even the teachers training, we have done large number of teachers training upgraded to skills. We have brought in new schemes. I urge all of you to see, some of our, programs on our website. But I would like to, before I conclude, I would like to also tell you India's digital transformation has put us also in top of the world. So India's digital transformation is powered by its unshakable belief in innovation and its commitment to speedy implementation. Whether it is India's digital public infrastructure offers very scalable, very secure and inclusive solutions, whether it is Aadhaar or CoWIN, UPI, or just some of the examples. Today we are the largest UPI transaction country in the world with 45% of the share in this. So friends, aligned with National Education Policy 2020, AICTE has taken various initiatives to foster innovation, startups and entrepreneurship among students and faculty members across technical institutions in India in order to bridge the gap between the schools and higher education institutions. We also closely work with Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog, partnered with AICTE to increase the innovation activities in schools. So as I told you, our innovation center is going to be a mind-boggling change. Now we are going to provide these core activities of the innovation center activities: innovation and startup repository in higher education, IP repositories institutions, technology assessment and compendium development, technology transfer and IP commercialization. So supplementary activities of these innovation centers, 12 innovation centers of the AICTE, are IP clinics. We are also collated 100 investors. So very recently, we have launched that AICTE investors meet, and where we are trying to provide a gap funding, mentoring support. Along with that, we are going to promotion of idea generation and innovation through our hackathons. So we are India-Singapore Hackathon, Smart India Hackathon, UNESCO India Hackathon. We are the only country conducting hackathon in a very concentrated effort, as a big festival across the country. Okay, so large number of students participate, lot of activities-based learning is happening, and through that very good capacity is also building in these areas. And it could be a revenue generation activities. Many institutions have already looked at that. So specialized training for industries are happening. So our vision plan, friends. So Vikasit Bharat, I strongly believe, as an engineer and a civil engineer involved in many large projects like Chenab Bridge as well as Ram Temple Foundation. I strongly believe that India is going to be the leader. So Vikasit Bharat is no more a dream, it's a reality. Because today you can see any technology companies, the heads of those technology companies are in Indian diaspora. That means they're all educated in India. We have to remember that their ground thing. They have picked it up all the other things later. But the contribution, which is very clearly visible from Indian young engineers, is very clear. So what we are trying to do at higher education, particularly at All India Council for Technical Education, to play a vital role in nation building and become a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship and economic development. We are, in the next 5 years, we are going to sow the seeds of change. And from 29 to 38, they're nurturing the saplings of this growth. We are going to witness that by 2047. We are going to be the largest economy. There is no doubt in our mind. We have already seen we are the 5th largest economy. We are going to be the 3rd soon. And from there, our numbers, whether it is publication, patents, or startups, okay, we are the largest startup ecosystem today, 125,000, and out of them 125 are unicorns, which brought close to about $450 billion worth money, and generated such a wealth. So by leveraging the strength of innovation and entrepreneurship in technical education, India can emerge as a knowledge capital of the world, attracting the best talent and investment from across the globe. I am very, very positive, and with the numbers what I've clearly shown you, it is we are in the making of India. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, respected Honorable Chairman, for sharing such a comprehensive AICTE-focused goal. And I'm very sure all the worthy delegates are surely, they'll be implementing your great vision for enriching the national goals. Thank you once again. Now is the time where somebody I really hold up and I look up to requires no introduction. May I request Shri Samir Somaya to render presidential address.
Good afternoon to you all. Namaskar. Jai Kumarji was worried about speaking after 4 speeches. I am worried about speaking after 6. So, I will be quick. Honorable Shri Sridhar Vembu ji, Shri Narayan Ramaswamy ji, Abhay Karandikar ji, who gave us an address, my friend Professor Yadav, our Consul General Eric Holstrom, Manya Shri Jai Kumar ji, our Shri Sitaram ji, and Mohan Rao ji, our student Mohan Rao ji, our alumni. Thank you very much for coming here. Shri Yadav talked about the first university that was created with ICT in Bhubanesh, in Orissa, I think. There is a story about industry-academia interaction that led to the creation of this campus, and so I want to give you some context. So, soon after independence, Kanhaiyalalji Munshi, who was the founder of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, asked my grandfather, who had started a school in 1942, but essentially was in industry with Godavari sugar mills, to ask whether he would fund the creation of a college of engineering under Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. They worked that very well. My grandfather was overjoyed at the opportunity. And Kanhaiyalalji Munshi had to go to Delhi to seek Pandit Nehru's blessing for this. For some reason that day, Pandit Nehru did not think there's a story, I don't want to go too much into that story, why, but Pandit Nehru dissuaded Kanhaiyalalji Munshi from that. And so my grandfather said, then I will build my own institution, and so Somaya Vidya Vihar as a higher education institution was born. So, as a higher education. School was in 1942, but that is also, one person, but also it's an interesting industry-academia interaction as a story.
Samir, incidentally, Kanhaiyalalji Munshi was a member of the committee which established UDC.
Oh, I see. So our motto is Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. Knowledge only liberates. And much of the fundamental things which my grandfather said, Sanskrit, prayer to start with. And normally what we also do is start every event with a Sanskrit speech, and that tradition we have continued. As an institution, we run schools, Somaya Vidya Vihar and Somaya Vidya Vihar University, Only day before yesterday, I was in Ratapani, which is near Bhimbedka, and we are planning to start our 9th school, which is in the forests of Ratapani, because our objective is to make education available of all types to all people, and to make sure that all kinds of education and all kinds of skills and all kinds of knowledge are equal. And a lot of the shawls that are given to you are also products of our own students who are master craftsmen and women in Kutch, whom we also teach, such that not only do they do karigari, but they also become entrepreneurs, as Vivekanand said, where an education which your intellect is expanded, character is formed, and people learn how to stand on their own feet. So that is the vision of Somaya Vidya Vihar and Somaya Vidya Vihar University. Sir, we have to keep reinventing ourselves, industry, academia. I work a lot with our own university here, but I work a lot with UDCT. At that time when I joined the business, India was a different world. IMF was giving us conditionalities to give us money, and we had to rapidly open up our economy, and companies like ours who were protected by a particular duty structure were rapidly finding ourselves in difficulty. And my father at that time told me, there is one institution who can help you reinvent yourself. It is UDCT. Go there. We met Dr. S.B. Chandalia, and Dr. S.B. Chandalia guided us as we reinvented ourselves as a company to transition from a pure sugar company that we were then to Godavari biorefineries today. And I'm very proud to say that we work with Dr. G.D. Yadav, thinking and addressing climate change and working on CO2 capture, transformation to dimethyl ether, which is both green, sustainable, will help the community in terms of, as our Prime Minister says, Annadata ko Urja Data bhi banana hai. That also will happen, and it also gives us Atmanirbharta and an ability to be secure. So this is what we are doing. As an institution, I'll just quickly say, we need as a university to work on various aspects of learning. I've talked about Karigari. I think we need to, we're talking, just again, I said in Ratapani, we're thinking of establishing a study center in the forest. Forests are good for their own sake. Forests are good for biodiversity. Forests are good to understand what that community needs. Forests are, it's a good thing for us to understand what, the ground realities are. While we live in a virtual world, we also need to know what it is to live in a natural world. I saw a Russell Viper walking right next to me. I'm happy I didn't walk on him, but I think these are realities of the world, and it is wonderful to have that experience. Also, students have to have a rounded experience. Students must understand also what is nature, because nature is what we are. Nature, we are part of nature. We are not divorced from nature. We have to understand we are part of this world. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is not only relating to humans, it relates to the whole community, the whole world. And Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti also is 3 types of Shanti that we all seek. We are doing a lot of work in Dharma. There is a huge new building called Sanskriti, which we are going to have. It's about 1 lakh square feet right now that is being constructed only to teach the basics of Dharma in this campus that we are doing. And also we need to work on health. We need to see how the intersection of there's an intersection of informatics, there's an intersection of precision medicine. So how do you take, some old knowledges that you have, the new world we live in. As a Godavari biorefineries, we're working on the use of Panchagavya, seeing it with the microbiome, seeing how we can work and see that we have a sustainable world going forward. But as we go forward, in the world that we're talking about, we are working with incubators. We have an incubator called Riddle. We have an institution called CIRAC, which is for industry research purely and consultancy. Yadavji, we have not given an additional charge to somebody. We brought in somebody from industry, Achala Danait, who was there to do some of these work that we want to do. And we also, and in Riddle, for example, I was in T-Hub 3 weeks ago, which is in Hyderabad. I saw 580,000 square feet of space devoted to innovation. The question is, can we create also over here 500,000 square feet for innovation? Mumbai is the financial heartbeat of the country, which is rapidly becoming the 3rd largest economy in the world. and how can we here think as we benchmark. If we talked about Susan Hockfield, how do we create an ecosystem which is like the one MIT has created in Cambridge, but also one which inherits a lot of the legacy and the rich cultural heritage of our country. One of my professors from Cornell always says, learn from us, do not seek to become us. And so how do we become richer, stronger today? But, I was co-chair of the technology licensing office at Cornell, and they licensed $750 million a year worth of income from licensing. That's the scale at which we operate. So when Sridhar Vembu sir said about the scale at which these people operate, it's also the scale of what kind of licensing they do. How do we get to that? I understand for a university to grow, we need to build financial assets, physical assets, and intellectual assets. When all of these three go together, we can go further. We need to do now, I speak not only as university, as a university, we need to now work with research. We need to work with industry, because this has to be collaborative. We have to work together. But one important person that we forget, whom we also need to work with, is the regulator or the facilitator, as was just mentioned by our AICTE chair. We need the regulator to become a facilitator, as AICTE has done, but we need to have the government work together to create an enabling environment so we can achieve the objectives to become a Vikasit Bharat in 1947. So thank you, 2047, yes. So I thank you all for coming here. We dream of becoming a university which is proudly Bharatiya. It is universal in its service and global in the reach of its ideas. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, Shri Samir Somaya. As they say, Rome was not built in a day. It is more than 80 years plus ethos and hard work put up by each and every member to ensure that Somaya not only becomes a great national university, but as a world-class university in times to come. Thank you indeed. Now is the time our partner, Bharat Tech Foundation, wishes to facilitate some of those in the National Organizing Committee who have actively contributed for the smooth and effective conduct of this conclave. Bharat Tech Foundation wishes to honor Professor Mohan Rao, Chair, CII Western Region Task Force for Education and Vice Chair of the National Organizing Committee, who right from the first meeting became totally involved and supported the cause. May we request Shri Samir Somaya sir to felicitate Professor Mohan Rao. Thank you, sir. Dr. Sridhar Iyengar, Director, Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management, as the team lead of the program committee, was instrumental in contributing his best for the function. We now request Shri Sridhar Vembu to felicitate Dr. Sridhar Iyengar. Thank you, sir. Shri Shiv Shukla, Head Policy, Government Affairs and Growth Projects, Reliance Education, as well as the team lead of the concept paper, was instrumental in the development of the initial basic concept to a document called Primer. This document will include the recommendations of this conclave also. We kindly request Shri Samir sir to felicitate Shri Shiv Shukla. Next, our very own principal, Dr. Suresh Ukrande, was with us in the core committee, and he and his team worked backstage for the effective conduct of this conclave. May we kindly request Manya Shri A. Jay Kumar to felicitate Dr. Suresh Ukrande. Can we have a round, bigger applause, please? Better applause. Thank you, sir. Srimati Aparna Mandalik, Executive Assistant to the Vice Chancellor, Somaiya Vidyavihar University, was also providing active support backstage by coordinating with the various subcommittees. May we request Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav, former VC, Institute of Chemical Technology, to felicitate her. Thank you so much. Thank you, dignitaries. Now, as we reach towards the end of this session, on a very personal note, I stand here as a proud alumnus of Somaiya Vidyavihar. I've got few things to say and share. As I entered into this campus, great campus of mine, there were a lot of emotions in my mind, and I was a bit skeptic. There was a lot of pressure and stress. How am I supposed to deal with an event of this stature? And as I entered, I was greeted, I met our principal, Dr. Suresh Ukrande. I also greeted Samir sir, and then somehow I felt that things are going to be fine. So I think this is the vibe. This is a great aura and ambience Somaiya campus as a university that brings to all of us. I also wish to thank the lovely presence of the esteemed audience for your patience, for your cooperation, and for displaying the vibrant spirit that is required for this two-day event. Thank you indeed. It's done. You can see. Anybody else? Sorry. There is one more felicitation remaining. Since the idea formation of the Trio-Conclave, engineer Siddharth Narayanan, founder director Bharat Tech Foundation, was actively involved in each and every step forward in this endeavor. We kindly request Sridhar Vembu sir to felicitate Shri Siddharth Narayanan. Thank you, sir, for this grand gesture. Now, towards the end, to propose vote of thanks, I earnestly request Professor Mohan Rao, Chair, Confederation of Indian Industry, Western Region Task Force for Education, to do the needful.
Namaskar. Professor T.G. Sridhar, Chairman, AICTE, Padma Shri Dr. Yadav, former Vice Chancellor, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mr. Eric Holstrom, the Consul General of Finland, Mumbai, Padma Shri Dr. Sridhar Vembu, the CEO, Zoho Corporation, and President General of Bharat Tech Foundation, Mr. Jay Kumarji, Mr. Shri Samir Somaiya, Chancellor, Somaiya Vidyavihar University, and the CMD of Godavari Refineries, Professor Pillai sir, the Vice Chancellor of the Somaiya Vidyavihar University, patrons, Mr. Narayan Ramaswamy, the Director General of Bharat Tech Foundation, the patrons and the National Organizing Committee members. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this very special occasion. And an event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling from January 28th, 2024. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of dedicated and committed senior executives of industry and educationists. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on this completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank all our speakers today in the inaugural session. including the chairman who virtually has come today online because he missed, the flight got cancelled, as was told in the morning today, who have shared their insights and knowledge with us. I think they've given thought-provoking ideas to us, and I'm sure very inspiring to all the engineers. Today, we miss the personal presence of our chairman, Dr. Sitaram, and of course, Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary Department of Science and Technology. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Kirloskar Engines, and all the institutions who are participating in the exhibition which is outside today. Special thanks to Somaya Vidyavihar University, and under the leadership of Sri Samir Somaya, we have had a great pleasure of hosting this conclave with a fantastic infrastructure support, administrative support, and we are very touched by it. Thank you so much. We are indeed grateful to all of you. Last but not the least, I would like to personally thank Pillai sir for being the chair of this conclave and giving us a lot of leadership ideas. Dr. Ramesh Unikrishnan, the advisor of AICTE, is not present today, but is coming in the afternoon today, the vice chair, for guiding us, and also the esteemed members of the organizing committee for all the inspiring thoughts and getting us the best of speakers and in terms of the entire program layout. I'm sure you will enjoy this next couple of days. Equally delighted to thank Somaya faculty and students who have had their own local organizing committee for the Trio-Conclave under leadership of Dr. Suresh Ukkarande for their hard work and dedication. All that you see printed, all that you see formed, is all done by them, and we are grateful to them. And I'm sure all the students, we bless them for a very bright future for them. If time is money, then today you have spent millions for us. Thank you. Thank to all of you for making it to the inaugural ceremony. You have a wonderful treat of listening to speakers and panelists in the next couple of days. I'm sure this will inspire you, and also that inspiration should help the Indian engineers to give us a better India, a better Bharat in the future to time to come. I'm sure this will definitely kindle the thoughts in you. Enjoy the Trio-Conclave and the campus life of Somaya Vidya University. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much. So that brings to an end to this grand inauguration session. There's a break, and I believe there's an exhibition awaited to be inaugurated at Gargi Plaza. Thank you very much. May I request the Somaya officials to kindly join for a group photograph?